morning, everyone. So let's bow in to start our practice. I don't really have to introduce much because you did such a good job at introducing me. So find your feet grounded on the ground, on the floor, knees bent, arriving in your body. And take a deep breath through your nose and exhale through your nose, settling, arriving. And open your eyes to the front. We step forward, bring our hands up together with the right fist and our left hand over the fist, and bowing from the heart, hinging at the waist, honoring the collective, this field that we create together in the practice space, honoring the teachers behind me, the teachers that come through me in the lineage of master to student, honoring the sect of Taoism in which a lot of these movements come from. And I like to bow in all directions, honoring the human collective, honoring the elements and the unseen, honoring the ancestors, those who came before, and then down into the earth, honoring the center where the abundance flows from, the consciousness of Gaia, the healing power of nature, and honoring the great mystery and the Tao beyond and all around and the 10,000 things. And placing a hand on your heart and underneath the navel, cradling the self, acknowledging the self, you, the original child, the original innocence. Breathing into your heart, into your belly, and exhaling, arriving again. And floating your hands down, rooting your feet securely into the floor. Wiggle your toes, like grab the earth with your toes. Wiggle your fingers, reaching through your fingers, arms long as you wiggle and dig your toes into the ground. And inhale, bring up one leg and stomp it down. Inhale up the other one and stomp it down. Sinking into the foundation, into the root. So now we move our hips from side to side, keeping our head in the center, tucking the chin back. So you're making the cervical spine long. And the knees are staying externally rotated out. And it's a soft S-wave move in the spine. It's like you're taking a cup of water and you're splashing it from side to side to get the sediment off the side of the cup. So the rib cage and the shoulder comes down to meet the hip. Great for the detoxification of the internal organs, moving the fascia of the viscera, the connective tissue around the organs, and warming up the body slowly for more dynamic movements to come. Let your arms be heavy. Getting some movement between each vertebrae and each rib cage. Breathing naturally in and out through the nose, and bring the tip of your tongue on the roof of the mouth, creating a gap between the hard palate and the soft palate. And notice what sensations are coming up, an increase of heat in the body, maybe a cramped feeling in your abdomen, around the lower ribs. Just taking note, no judgment. Accept and receive the sensations as a somatic awareness. And slow it down. Bring your knees in closer to each other and moving the knees and the hips in a circle. Making sure the feet are firmly on the ground, lifting up through the arches, and then bringing the movement more up into the rib cage, keeping the head as much as you can in one position. So similar to the last movement, this is like creating a whirlpool in a cup of water, cleaning the sediment off the sides, really dropping the abdomen back and then puffing forward. So the spine comes back and arches forward. Really drop through the chest, concave. I really like this movement. Make it slow, explore. It's like you're getting out of the way of something, dodging. Now reverse the direction with the knees and the hips. Starting this whirling motion in the lower body. You can experiment with how your weight shifts, like moving on the outer edges of the feet and the knees and the hips, and then bring it up into your rib cage, dropping back through the abdomen, concaving through the thorax, puffing up through the chest, and then dropping back, making the movement dynamic through the spine. And then try to make the movement smaller and isolate it more, just in the spine between the cranium and the sacrum. Slow it down. Inhale and exhale, one circle, one breath. Inhale forward and exhale back. Tightening through the abdomen as you drop back and extending forward. Bring your arms into it just a little bit, making it a full body movement. And coming to center. Now we do a spinal wave from front to back. The movement is initiated in the lower body and comes up through the core, releases through the head. Breathing naturally in and out, conscious of the inhales and exhales through the nose. And make sure your jaw is released, even though your mouth is closed. The tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Your jaw is loose. There's a gap between the teeth. So the hips come forward, chest, and then the head softly releases. Careful of how much whiplash you give yourself. A little bit is good. It's like a rolling up and then a snapping forward and dropping, rolling up. It's like you're a billowing sail in the wind of a sailboat, flapping, articulating every vertebrae, from the vertebrae that are fused in the tail and the vertebrae that are fused in the sacrum, and then the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical and cranium, all 33 structures in the spine. Slow it down. Find the sensuality and the pleasure in the movement. Arching, become heavy, allow the arms to be long and loose. Arch down, and then speed it up. You can release your mouth open. And now the opposite movement. So the head dives down and then arches under, dives down and arch up. Beautiful. Coming up, bringing the feet together and float the hands down to the knees. And the index finger and the middle finger grab into these indentations below the patella or the kneecap, and then dig your thumbs into the quadriceps. So you're really gripping around kneecap. You're actually hitting a number of acupressure points. You're going to sit down into your knees, keeping your spine straight, and then circle back and forward, keeping the whole foot on the ground, and look down in front of you a couple feet to find balance. Sinking and rotating, nourishing the knees, supple knees, chi return. Inhale forward and exhale back. Welcoming any cracks and pops in the joints as the awakening happens in the body. You're not putting any weight through the hands, you're just gripping the knees. Dropping your weight down through your sacrum, down towards the heels. Now reverse the direction. One circle, one breath. And coming up, inhale the hands up and overhead, and exhale down. Inhale the hands overhead, and the hands clasp together. You have a fist over underneath the palm, like in the salute position. And you look upwards and extend up onto your tippy toes, saluting the sky, extending the arms up, holding the breath. And you lower down, holding the breath onto your heels, hinging at the waist, and releasing your breath out your mouth, clearing out with your hands brushing down. Inhale, gather the energy up from the earth, in the hands separated, and then exhale down. So inhale, imagine you're washing your auric field with yang qi, with light, extending up on your tippy toes, reaching in two directions, lowering down, simultaneously lowering the hands and the heels, holding the breath, hinging and letting it go out your mouth, brushing down. Inhale, consciously pulling up fresh energy from the earth, like picking up a veil of silk, guiding it to your heart, and exhale down. Inhale, rising, washing yourself with light, clasping the hands above the crown, extending up onto the toes, reaching in two directions, lowering down, holding this salute in front of your heart. Really brush your hands down this time. Clearing out, like brushing down the front channel. Inhale, guide the energy up with your hands, and then exhale, sink back to Dantian, to vital center, your power, your hara. Inhale, gather. Fingertips and palms activated. Extend up, reaching, and look up to the sky, saluting the cosmos, lowering down. The hands come apart and brush down the legs and off the toes if you can, if you have that flexibility. And then you inhale, softly pulling up to your heart, and exhale, sink to Dantian. Inhale, wash with Yang Qi. Extend on toes, reaching through hands and arms, lowering down, simultaneously lowering arms and feet, holding the breath. Engage through the abdomen and then release. Clearing out. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, sink from heart to Dantian. Couple more. Inhale, wash yourself with light. Extend, reach, lower down, tighten through the abdomen, loading the body before the release, and really accentuate the sound out of your mouth. Inhale to the heart, and exhale down to the Dantian. So now I want you to find something that doesn't serve you anymore, some thought construct or pattern in your life or toxic relationship, whatever, and imbue it into the movement so you can consciously release it. It's like a ritualization of the practice, and then release. So now on the next one, you can bring this intention in. Use this as a vessel for your release of that which doesn't serve you anymore. I offer it to the cosmos and the great beyond. I bring it to my heart, and I release it back to the earth. And now rise up, a little bit more empty and spacious, so that the fresh chi and inspiration can flow in. One more to close. Inhale, rising up, sinking down, and release. Inhale, and exhale. And lifting the leg up and then stepping to the side, a sliding step. But just try that again. Leg comes up and you sink down, and then the foot slides along the floor, making it a graceful transition. Finding beauty in the movement. Shaking, pulsing from the ground like riding an earthquake. Wiggling through the hands and the wrists. Shaking the head from side to side. Today I'm going off the beaten path a little bit, releasing the traditional structure, and weaving in some more dynamic movements, all encouraging the flow of energy and the activation of power and breath, and nourishing the body, the heart, and the spirit. Inhale into your heart, up into your head, and release out your mouth. Really vibrate sound through your abdomen and your rib cage. Again, inhale up. Bring the sound down through your core and into your heart, into your belly. Inhale. Toning through the space. Yes. So now we inhale energy from the earth to the heart, making fists facing each other in front of the heart and releasing down. Into a squat. Inhale, pull up. Exhale down. Releasing. The arms are extended. You're down in a sumo squat. Inhale, pulling up through your fists, activating through the arms in a strong stance. Release down. Inhale. Inhale. Keeping your spine upright, knees externally rotated. Activated, strong, fierce. I can hear my echo in the heater. That's a good job. Make the sound loud without disturbing anyone. Or inspire them through your voice. One more. And rise up slowly with the hands and exhale down, sinking through the stance, billowing the sheet. Inhale and exhale as the heart settles, thundering in the chest, and linking the breath and the movement. Inhale, billow up, slow to the chest, heart level, and exhale down. Inhale, rise up, and exhale down. There's a little articulation in the wrists. Inhale, floating up, like hot air is rising, and your little wings are floating up, and then guiding back down with the invitation of gravity. And notice what's present in your palms, if there's a tingling or a warmth. Inhale, actively draw up through your hands, and release down through the wrists. And now, turning to the right side, bring your hands up. I'm going to be pressing and ironing out down the right side through the liver channel, down the leg. Inhale, the hands up. And between my index finger and my thumbs, I'm going to actively iron down with this hissing noise. So you part your teeth, kind of stick your tongue underneath the teeth and make a releasing up, keeping the spine upright, shifting over to the other side, and contracting through the chest and the arms, activating what is called irradiation in fitness, like an isometric contraction through your whole body. Inhale, and now exhale. Contracting through the arms, sinking into the stance. Everything's tight and strong, but kind of like ironing out and releasing. And release, billow up, rotate to the other side. Inhale up, billow up, rotate, pivot. Transition gracefully and beautifully, and then contract out. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Experiencing the yin and the yang, the contraction and the power, and then the softness and grace. Embody the opposites. Embody the polarities of light. And one more on the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, gather. Bring the hands past the nose and exhale, sink into the vital center. So try this breath through the nose. It's kind of you squinch your face like a grimace, and it's a powerful breath out the nose like this. So you're like blowing your nose, so you might shoot some snot, but that's okay. If you're in your own home, that's fine. So inhale, and then exhale 3 times through your nose, blasting through the nostrils. You kind of have to make this grimace, intense face. Okay. So now we take our hands into the mudra of the sword fingers. So the thumbs wrap over the index or the ring and pinky, and the index and middle fingers are extended. This is a sacred mudra in Taoism. It's the extension of energy. It's like a sword extends from the fingers. So I inhale, and my right hand comes over, blocking my left nostril, as my left sword fingers are on my Mingmen, or L5, and then I can blow out 4 times and release the breath out, and then inhale the center and twist. My left fingers trap my right nose, opposite over my head, and my right hand is on my L5, 5th lumbar vertebrae, or what we call the Ming Men and the gate of life. The breath is held and then released. Wiping any detritus. Inhale, or no, inhale to the other side. Exhale out completely. Inhale, twist to the other side. Inhale to the other side. Kind of like breath of fire or Kalabati breath, creating a bandha lock in the face. Exhale out completely, and then inhale, twist to the other side one last time. 4 releases through the nose. All right, that's the preparatory breath. If you're more interested in this kind of release work through this breath work, it's called Gong Shen Gong. It's a type of Qigong for my sect. And there's a whole series of different movements for breathing like this and actively pushing out through the body. So we'll do one movement called the Tyrant King Pushes the Mountain. So we inhale, our hands up, and our fists come together like you're doing a chin up and pulling down. Your arms are articulated, elbows to the ground, sunken into your stance. The hands come down and then around and up onto your toes, and then drop onto your heels, and then do that breath out the nose. It's like a push. Yeah? And then dropping the hands down, and then inhale, collecting to the front and bringing back to the vital center. And then up, inhale, reaching, extending. The hands come together, chin up, sink down, breath is held, around, and then push, emit. So you're dropping onto your heels. If you have any spinal issues or bad knees, maybe the dropping onto the heels isn't the best. But I'm coming up onto my toes, and then I'm dropping down, sending a vibration up my spine. We're activating all the energy centers. Okay, so gather, pull, sink into the stance, the fist drop down and then around, up onto the toes and release, pushing to the front, making boundary, and then dropping the hands down. Inhale, collecting out to the front and bringing back to the vital center. Again, inhale, pull down, sink, drop the hands between, around to the front and release. Inhale, brushing past the dantian, gather and bring back to center. I'll just turn to the side. I inhale, extending up, pulling down. My hands drop down and around, up onto my toes and release. Pushing out. Inhale, collecting, and exhale, return. Couple more. Inhale, pull down, rooting into the stance. Exhale, inhale, gather, collection, sink. One more. Inhale, dropping down, collect. Consciously receiving the opposite. Let's do one more. I really like this one. Inhale, drop it down, circle around, release, float down, inhale, gather, and bring back to center. And close the movement by inhaling up and exhale down past the dantian into the vital center. Palms facing forward, receptive. We do this movement called yang stroke, open, close. The hands come around right in front of the head. The fingers are at the level of your eyebrows. And then the hands come down together, sweeping past the kidneys. Inhale, spreading the wings. There's a spiraling happening through the arms. And exhale, return back to dantian. Linking breath and movement. We're tracing the magnetic field that emanates out of our center, what is called the toroidal field or a torus. And you can research that and look at different images of the torus of the earth and the torus of the human heart. It's the sacred geometry that naturally occurs in the magnetic field of the human and the earth, and in many celestial bodies. So in Taoism, there's a lot of talk about earth, human, and heaven, or the human is the bridge between the heavens and the earth. And so if you want to just look at some imagery of the link between all three, it's really fascinating. It's also related to the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, innate sacred geometry that is in the DNA of all of life. So we inhale, our hands spiral open to the front, and then it's like stroking a long beard. Our hands come down and then open up. It's kind of this donut that we're tracing. It's narrow in the center, and then it opens up, circles out to the fluffy outside, and then coming back to center. See if you can trace a circle with your hands. There's an extension through your fingers, activated through the palms. Inhale, open, and exhale, return. So now we take this movement from side to side. So you shift over to the left side, or you can do the opposite of me. Do it on the right side. Shifting over. And then coming back to center. So now the weight is distributed on both feet. Shift over to the other side. Inhale up and exhale back to center. My spine is just twisting. I'm not leaning over. And my feet are staying parallel and knees to the front. There's just a soft torquing through the abdomen as I shift my vantage. And my eyes are actively looking outwards beyond the hands, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. I'm tucking through the pelvis, posterior tilt, tucking the chin back, extending up through the crown. Inhale, gathering, activating the magnetic field. Exhale back to center, and inhale, gather. So you want this spiral to be happening through the shoulder and through the arms. Nourishing the whole chain from the center of the sternum out through the shoulders, through the elbows, through the fingertips. And one more on either side. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to center. Now we do the opposite movement. So the hands come up. Rising up. The yin stroke, open, close. The hands spiral out, parting a curtain. Coming back behind. And you really want to emphasize the scooping. So the hands scoop back and up. Inhale up, spiral out, open the curtain, and then behind you, collecting. Bring the energy from back to front, hands rising up, spiraling out, open, scooping back. Inhale, up, open, and scooping. So stroking the beard upwards, or you're like you're holding a pole and you're lifting it up. And you're just moving between the hips and the eyebrows. So containing the movement, not reaching over the head. There's a martial component. It's like breaking through and then separating. So this is the yin stroke, rising up and opening, gathering. Inhale and exhale. So now we bring this into the side. So shifting over to the side, inhale up, open, bring back, rotate to center, shift over to the other side, open up, shift back to center, inhale, and exhale. Pivoting weight from side to side, keeping the spine upright. Exhale back to center. Articulating through the wrists, radiating energy out the palms. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, collect back to center. Notice the sounds coming into this practice space, linking breath and movement. becoming present with the simplicity of this movement, of life, this moment. One more on either side. Inhale, rise up, and exhale back to center. And then reverse the hands opposite direction. Inhale, gather, and exhale down through the center to the dantian. Bring the hands out in front of the navel, holding a ball. The hands are extended out, holding a ball. And consciously feel a sphere of substance, of energy, of an unseen ball. So inhale, expand. Looking down through with your eyes into the ball, into the space between the palms. And see if you can feel a magnetic charge, like you flip two magnets over, feeling that invisible force pushing away. And that the arms kind of billow out. Yeah. And then exhale back to center. But you're moving the hands in the same axis. So they're not coming up, they're moving in the same line as the dantian, as the vital center. Exhale, sink back to center. Inhale, activating through the fingers and the palms like you're pulling up substance apart. And then exhale, sink back, guiding the energy back towards itself. Inhale, pulling apart a spring, like a big spring. And exhale, guide it back to its original position. Looking down with your eyes in the interspace between your hands. And the legs are active, strong, rooted. Knees externally rotated out. The toes are hugging the earth. Posterior tilt through the pubic bone and tailbone, flattening the lumbar curve. And don't puff your chest out. Soften through the shoulders. Keeping a little roundness in the chest, a concaveness. And the spine is long, allowing the natural S curve, but tucking your chin back so that the cervical spine is long, and there's an extension from the crown up to the sky. The top of the skull up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. You can try inhaling, pulling up your pelvic floor and your perineum, pulling the abdomen in towards your spine, flattening through the abdomen, and then exhale and the belly softens and the perineum releases. So it's a reverse breath. Inhale, pulling up through your toes as you pull up through your perineum, and pressing the tip of your tongue up into the roof of your mouth. As you pull apart, filling up with chi. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, expand. And then exhale, holding the ball and then turning so that the right hand is on top and the left hand cradles underneath the navel, holding the ball. Inhale, expand, the top hand expands up, and then exhale, soften down. Spinning the Tai Chi ball. Inhale, pulling up. Exhale, sink down. You can keep this breath, so this reverse breath, inhaling the navel back towards the spine, pulling up the perineum, and then softening the belly out as you drop down in your stance. Inhale, pull up, And at the top of this one, you twist. And then left hand is on top, right hand under, and then drop down. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, drop. It's actively pulling up energy through your toes and the hands, pulling apart, palpating this invisible force between the palms. So we do 3 repetitions, and then we rotate. Spinning the Tai Chi ball, guiding the hands around the surface of this invisible sphere, and then exhale, sink. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, sink. The hands float down, and the fingers actively grab this invisible substance, pulling up. And then on the top of this one, we rotate. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise up. Notice the warmth building in the palms, sinking down with the upright spine, linking breath and movement slow. And rotate. And exhale down, sink. Inhale up. Beautiful. Well done. And then rotate at the next top, and we do just one more. Inhale, filling up, exhale, compress it, condense it. Inhale, become more powerful, and exhale, compress it. Inhale, and hold. Now the left hand is on top, or the right hand if you're on the opposite side. And holding this ball of energy consciously between the middle dantian, the heart center, and the lower dantian, the vital center below the navel, containing energy. Standing meditation, letting the eyes be at half-mast, letting light in at the bottom, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and reaching back through your jaw, tucking your jaw, extending up through the crown. There's an extension through the cervical spine, up through the crown. My feet are parallel, my knees are not falling in, they're externally rotated outwards. Open through the qua, or the center, posterior tilt. And the spine is kind of bowed back like a turtle shell. I want my head to be directly above my sacrum, aligned with gravity, filling up with energy. And there's a small balloon between the elbows, so your arms aren't out like this, but they're not tucked in, they're just softly out. And then inhale, twist the ball, the other hand is on top, and just hold and notice what's present in this dynamic as you stand. Focusing on the breath, releasing any thoughts that infiltrate into the mind space, acknowledging them and releasing them. Standing meditation. And then bringing the hands up to the front, The palms are radiating back towards the heart, holding a ball. If you count the surfaces of your chest and your hands and your forearms and upper arms, you're holding an octagon in front of the heart. The thumbs are soft, keeping the same structure in the rest of the body. Parallel feet, knees bent, posterior tilt through the pelvis, long spine, almost a concaveness through the chest, tucking back to the chin, extending the crown up to the sky. And the arms are light. Holding up, using muscular strength in the beginning, but learning in time to use energy and activating the connective tissue. There's a gap between the middle fingers. So the elbows aren't directly out, nor are they tucked in. They're a little bit like right below horizontal. Imagine little balloons holding up the elbows, and there's a spiraling out through the palms. The two dragons hold the column. There's like a tree growing from the ground and moving up its trunk between your hands and your chest, or a column of light. This is like the human charging station. So we walk into these standing meditation postures and align ourselves with gravity, with the cosmos, and with the earth below, being the conduit and channel between the two. Just filling up, receiving, noticing, sinking into your feet, visualizing roots extending through the floor, grabbing the earth below, connecting into the roots of other trees and the mycelium, the mushroom network that wraps around the earth. I like to think of it as the connective tissue or fascia of the earth. Inhale, belly full, and exhale, navel drops towards spine. And focusing in the heart center. Notice what's coming into your space, any downloads or messages or sensation, vibration. Just receiving, acknowledging, noticing, becoming more aware. And now the hands rotate in, the fingertips come together, holding a ball in front of the heart. The 5 elements return to source. So the meridian lines that radiate through each finger are connected, creating a conduit from right side to left side, flowing through the fingertips and connecting back into the middle dantian, the heart center. Actively claw the earth with your toes as you inhale. And see if you can see a light in your heart, radiating, a dim light. See if you can brighten that light through your imagination, your intention, as you inhale, radiating light in all directions, so that the light extends out from the heart center and 8 feet in each direction, so that you are the center of an orb of light, a protective field around you. Inhaling and exhaling, noticing what's present. Standing with the cosmologicals above and below. And And now dropping the hands down. So now the palms are radiating back towards the dantian, towards the vital center. Inviting the energy to flow into the vital center. It's as if the dantian is a cauldron, and you're letting all the energies just seep and flow, drip down back into this collective point. Settle in the pelvis. Nourish the reproductive organs and the bladder and the kidneys and all the structures of the pelvis and the upper leg. Move from this place. Gather to this place. And then floating the hands down, and then inhale, gather, collecting around, and then bring it past the face and sink it down into the dantian. And the right hand holds underneath the navel, and the left hand seals over the right hand. Letting the settling take place more. And swish your tongue around in your mouth, collecting any saliva, and bring it to the center of your mouth, and then swallow it down. And we close the dantian, bringing a close to the practice. We inhale, our hands up the left side of our navel, around the navel and down the right. Exhale. Inhale up. It's just 3 rotations. Exhale down. Inhale up. Nourishing the warmth of our palms. Exhale down into our abdomen. And then we do 2 circles the opposite direction. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Coming back to center. And then bring the palms together. Building heat in the palms. And then with this heat, wash your face from chin of the forehead, running the fingertips to the hair, massaging back through the neck. A couple more times. Inhale and exhale, taking a hold of the ears and massaging out through the ears. And then with the fingertips, drumming the jaw and down to the chin on either side of your nose, tapping the temples, the forehead, the crown, above the ears, and then transferring your fingertips into soft fists and drumming underneath the occipital ridge and down through the neck and then around the chest. Inhale into the heart and dropping down, drumming through the abdomen and then up over the shoulder and then tapping down the outside of the arm all the way down to the back of the palm and the fingertips, and then flip over into your palms and then back to inside of the forearm and then transferring over to the other side. A self-percussive massage, dropping down the outside of the arm, back to inside, and then slapping through the abdomen, the front body, and the back body, stinging the skin with your slaps, down that side through the hip, inner thigh and IT band down through the knee. Really sting the skin, activate, awaken. And then back up, other side, front body and back body. Sting the skin, bring the blood to the surface. And then shaking out. Wiggling out through your fingers. Really whipping through your fingertips. And then stillness. And let everything settle. Bring the feet in. Okay, we bow out to honor the end of the practice. Stepping forward, bringing the right hand up, left hand over, bowing from the heart center. Thank you, students. We bow back. Now we bow in all directions like we started. Bring reverence into the practice. Gratitude for the elements. Gratitude for the lineage of teachers. Honoring the great forces beyond us that support us and make us whole. And honoring down into the earth. Honoring the ancestors and those who came before. And again, returning to the self. And honoring the self for the hard work that you do every day. Inhale into your dantian and exhale, drop back. Thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to follow me, I'll write my website in here if you don't have it already. Yeah, and then these are donation-based classes. Obviously it's free, but if you'd like to donate, I will drop my Venmo and PayPal handle in here. But otherwise, thanks for coming. Great work. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And then Mac Murphy. Okay.
Thank you, Mac.
You're welcome, Mike. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I had just one quick question about maybe, well, first, how do you actually say the class? Is it Qigong?
Qigong, yeah. It means, Qi means energy and Gong means work or skills. So it's just like, it's pretty much energy work. That's what it means.
Okay, I feel like that's an appropriate name. What is there any relationship between Qigong and Tai Chi? That's, I guess, was the question I wanted to ask.
Very much. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap. Qigong is kind of like the foundational practice that's beyond Kung Fu and Tai Chi and any martial forms of the Tao. Like Qigong are like energy cultivation exercises. You can look at it that way. There's a martial aspect to some of the movements, but it's really there's different types of Qigong. Like
we did a variety of different types. There's like releasing Qigong, activating, for cultivating, the standing meditation. I weave together in this practice today, just like a collection of different practices to, yeah, because some of the traditional practices they're beautiful and they're perfect and they've been practiced for generations, but they're hard to grasp in a one-time session. So if you'd like to learn a traditional set, we can do private work together. Yeah, it's cool. Tai Chi is like it can be a fast form. It can be done really quickly, but most of the time you see it very slowly. And it's like a kung fu form that's slowed down, and it's all about the transitions, and most of what we see is water Tai Chi. So it's like this flowing, long, controlled movement. But then the fire Tai Chi is like active and fast, and the movement's sped up. So yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a really good answer. Very interesting too.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of resources out there about Tai Chi. It's really moving from the center and moving from the Dantian, and kind of moving around the center of the earth. Yeah, I'm still just scratching the surface of it all. So, yeah.